I think that very often we blame social media for everything, but maybe by blaming social media, we cover a much bigger problem than that. I know people who are on social media, but they don't spend that much time on social media. And I know people who are not on social media, but they're basically all the time on their screen, be it your phone, your TV, your computer. Is it the being on social media is the problem? Or is it the consumption of social media is the problem? It's more about how much of your life you're actually living and how much of your life you are just watching a movie. I think this is crucial. We used to live our life fully ourselves. And now we watch other people fall in love, we watch other people travel, we watch other people's life, adventures, cooking, whatever they're doing. And how much do we live ourselves? How much do we experience ourselves? How much of our own adventure we are creating in our life? I think this is quite a question, because later TV appeared, but it was not occupying the whole time of people. People would watch some programs and stuff. But already then, back then, there were some people who would switch the TV on and let it on the whole day, kind of passively consuming content. So this tendency to enjoy consuming content all the time was already before social media, even before internet, you know. But by switching on the screen of the TV. So it's not only social media to blame for everything. It's our habit to enjoy entertainment 24/7. It's like a drug, and our brain cannot really differentiate whether we are actually living life or we are watching life. But then why do we feel so lonely? Because it's a big difference whether we just watch or life, or we live. The fulfillment, the happiness we get actually from living our own life. And watching others is more like entertainment. It's more like, okay, in the evening I can watch a movie or something. It also can be educational. It's good. Like back then it was, you go to the library and get yourself educated or something. This could also be, but you would not spend 24/7 in the library, except for a few days you have to prepare for some university stuff, you know, and you would not spend 24/7 in the movies. The problem is not only our habit to consume more than to produce, and to be fine with that, but it's also our habit to be like a junkie, you know, to be addictive to things. People can say, oh, social media is addictive, but there are many things which are addictive. And before social media, there was like, I don't know, drugs, I don't know, coffee. And just like social media, it depends. Like drug can be healthy if it's in small amounts used for medical reasons. And drugs in big amounts are addictive and harming. And watching TV a little bit in the evening is not a problem, but 24/7, it's addictive and it's a problem, I would say. Drinking coffee or two in the morning, not a problem for most of people. Drinking every half an hour coffee is addictive. I mean, coffee is addictive anyway, but if you can control it, if you can be aware, yeah, and then, okay, it's a drug, but I decide that 1 or 2 coffees per day is no problem. That's why I can allow this. Watching a movie in the evening is no problem. And the rest of my life I live myself, it's no problem. Even though watching movies can be addictive, right? Watching people on social media can be addictive. But if it's like some time some small amount of time. We need to set boundaries for how much time we spend online. It's not only social media. And also, it's not only for kids. Like for kids, people say, oh, we have to set boundaries how much people are online. But how about grown-ups? Of course, for kids, it's even more damaging because their system needs to grow up and to learn and develop. But we grown-ups, we are also evolving, hopefully, So it also makes sense for us very much to do something, because we can degrade if we stop being active. The body is degrading, the brain is degrading. If we stop doing things which are good for our brain, for our body, then we are degrading. And watching content non-stop is degrading. I was distracted a little bit. The mic is still on. It's all good. Actually, today I wanted to go and make a video outside, but it's very windy today, and I think the noise of the wind, the sound would be way too bad. So I thought I'd just stay indoors. But the reason, for example, that I like to make videos outdoors, because then I have to do something. I have to go for a walk, for example, or I have to drive to the beach. I have my own adventure, then my own experience. And walk and talk is really healthy. You're making a video and at the same time you're walking. I mean, it's nice. But okay, today I didn't manage it. But you can see quite a lot of videos on this channel where I'm in the nature, and to get there it takes a while. Okay, here from this cabin, it just takes a few steps to go to the nature, but it depends on the location where I am or whether I'm traveling and so on. It's just you can see on my channel that it's not always that I'm shooting from making a video from the same place, because I'm traveling quite a lot, quite enough. Maybe I don't share everything here because some things I keep private, and some things are also not very nice to share like in public. Sometimes I wish I would have some other place where there would be, I think, like not everybody there, more private space online, but let's see. So my point was that it's not only for kids that we should set the boundaries of how much time they spend online. I think it's very much also for adults, because if we stop doing things ourselves with our life, with our own brain, with our own body, connecting to people in real life, making relationships in real life, making connection. And also, again, the brain is very active if you're always online, and also it feels like you're doing something because you feel like connected, you feel kind of like integrated, and you can interact and stuff. But it can only be like a smaller part of your life, right? I mean, if you are on social media, of course you will have to produce some content, but when it comes to consuming content, it should not take so much time in people's lives. Because then life is just doesn't feel like you're alive anymore, People do not feel fulfilled. People do not feel really connected, or even they don't even feel real. They lose this connection to reality somehow if they are always online, if this is like the main part of their life. This is not really living, and this is the problem, that people don't feel alive, no matter if they are themselves on social media or not. If we are more a consumer type of person, less producer, then social media is going to be excellent for us, because it's just about consuming, unless you are doing content yourself, because then it's already a production, And also depends what kind of content. Like also with books, you can read a book which makes a lot of sense, or you can read something which is nonsense. Even though reading itself is nice, but what kind of impressions, what kind of thoughts, what kind of content does one put in one's mind? It's our own, tendencies and our own habits that we can train in us, set boundaries in our life, how much, coffee I drink, how much time I spend online. And then I have a watch, so to say, for example, this could be a practical advice. And then you set a watch and then, okay, I decide that I can use those 20 minutes for this, or maybe an hour for something else, but not live your life this way. And also there's this thing that people are consuming so much content while they're doing something else. This is also a trap. People think they're multitasking, people think they're living their own life, but if their brain is occupied with something completely else at the same time, if you lie in bed with your partner, but you have your earplugs, and there is a book. Oh, sorry, not earplug, headphones. I mean headphones, not earplug. It's headphones, having headphones everywhere, people crossing the street with this and not hearing the cars. Listening to the nature, how about that? So this multitasking is also a trap. While the reason why people are so not feeling alive, feel like distracted, disconnected, and like they get the experience, but it's not the full experience. Even running in the woods, they are depriving themselves from the whole totality, from the whole experience, because they have their headphones in there, taking the real experience away, being there 100%. Having the headphones and being in the forest, it's again, you will have a headphones and being next to your partner, and are you together at this moment, or are you somewhere else? So what I'm trying to say, this is also a trap, and why people don't feel alive, because this is also not full experience. This kind of always distracting oneself with something, even if it's not a screen, but it's in the brain, Our brain can get content like this, or by hearing something. And if we are always having our headphones and consuming something 24/7, I don't think it's better than watching a screen 24/7. Honestly, I think it's a big thing, and it can be a trap, because people think, well, I'm not on social media, I'm actually listening to some interesting podcast all the time, but you're not living your life at this moment fully. And then at the end of the day, you might feel really exhausted, because your brain was very busy. Maybe your body was also running around, but you were not fully there, and you didn't get the real experience. You missed something with your partner or in the forest, And being on social media might be also not so bad if you are just using it for some short contact with your friends, or maybe building a personal brand for your business, or for your job, career, whatever, you know. You don't have to spend too much time there, like my mom once a week making a post with some pictures on her Instagram account is linked in the description, by the way, if you want to check it out. In her 70s, traveling all the time, much more than it's quite, I really, I mean, now she's also like she's getting a bit older, and this makes me worry a little sometimes about her, but she is really living her life to the fullest, and placing some pictures once a week on the internet is not really taking so much of her time. Yeah, but let me ask you, like, what do you think? What is the problem here? Is it always social media, or our habit to just passively consume things via looking at something or hearing something, distracting ourselves from real life? This channel is, by the way, all about real things, real life, no artificial content, no AI, you know, real connection, real talks. And I would also, like you to participate in this conversation. What is your experience? Like, how much consuming content takes of your life? Like, how many hours or minutes a day? And if you combine it all together, you can imagine how many years. Like, if you live like 100 years, how many of those years one was not really living but watching other people live? I hope you enjoyed this video. I mean, I was just talking about this. It's not something that it's the truth. It's just my thoughts about the fact that people don't feel alive anymore, feel disconnected, and you know, this is one of the reasons, and there are many reasons. I've already had a few videos talking about different reasons, but this is one of the reasons. And if one wants to be free, and this channel is actually all about building freedom in life, then one needs to be aware of how much things are taken away from us without us even noticing. We need to be aware and to build our freedom of deciding to watch or not to watch, deciding and how much. How much do we watch? How much do we produce? How much we consume in life in general? Maybe it was a little bit spontaneous, but a lot of my videos are not structured and just me talking, and sometimes I have better days and talk fluently, and sometimes I'm exhausted, and today's weather is also very like moody, and I'm not sure I was making my points clear, but I hope it made some kind of sense. So yes, I think I will actually go for a walk. It must be raining in the evening. Anyway, I wish you all the best. Next time you decide to watch something, think about what you can do today to actually create your own story. Maybe take a walk, you know, read a book, call a friend, or cook something yourself. Not only watching people cooking, but cooking something nice for the family. Anyway, I wish you all the best. Hope it was useful, and let me know what you think. See you next time.